Do not check your watch. Don't look at a calendar. It's not Friday night, but I am Kevin Joseph. I've got Allen Dunford back again from, you know him from Pocus Hocus, from Grandma Chainsaw. And we're going to learn a little bit about Horus in Hell #1 today. So Allen came down, visited all of us in Florida, and paid for it last week.
Just like everyone else.
You know, it's kind of, they should have named it Hotel Melbourne instead of California. You can check
the hotel. Well, they
out,
actually stayed in a hotel called the Hotel Melby.
First mistake.
Yep.
We're going to learn from our lessons. So was going to be on with us last Friday night, and I guess got a ticket the hell out of here and punched that ticket. I appreciate it. I understand. I'm looking around Florida and wondering if I can't follow you as well. So I get it. Glad I could move some stuff around so we could talk some Horus in Hell today.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I really appreciate it. And, thank you so much, Kevin, for always accommodating me and always trying to find a space to squeeze me in, even when life gets crazy.
Yeah, no worries. Will's job is not as versatile as mine. I can either wake up earlier or stay up later and do my job. Will has to show up at work, so he couldn't make it. But I'm sure he's going to be upset not to talk to you. But when we only have one person, we kind of take it a little bit slower. I won't take up all your day.
Yeah. It's wild though to be doing this with you, and there's daylight outside.
Right.
Yeah,
and I have nothing in my cup but coffee too. So it's a little weird for me. I don't have my my confidence booster, but I think I can do it. So what brought you into what was your first experience with either pop culture, comic books? What brought you into this crazy world?
So my interest stems from what really got me into it was manga. The manga specifically was Death Note. I always liked comics before. I thought they were really cool to read and everything, but I always did just the usual suspect stuff, right? Anything that was popular, I read.
Mm-hmm.
I know that may sound terrible or whatever, but I never did my own research on it. So, if there was a movie,
there's probably a reason it's popular, right?
Right? Yeah. So if there was a movie getting made on something, then I would watch it. So 300, V for Vendetta, things of that nature. Like that was my thing. But then whenever I went to college, I was an English major. Then I, of course, had to read a lot of literature. And then I got into the world of manga. I discovered that. And that's what really pushed me forward to start. I guess that's what was, the catalyst to start doing it. What really pushed me forward was COVID happened. And I think like a lot of people, when I got with Will, my co-writer, we've been friends since high school. And I was just like, hey, I'm trying not to go crazy. Do you want to do something together? Do you want to write a comic book? And he said yes. And then that's how Pocus Hocus came to be. And then it just kind of all snowballed from there.
I love that your way not to go crazy is to invent some of the weirdest comics that have come out in the last 2 or 3 years. I on behalf of everyone in America, thank you, because if you're getting this out of you, I think that might have saved a lot of people around you.
Man, probably. It's funny because whenever I go back and look at some of the stuff, we just finished up Grandma Chainsaw 2, the production on that, and I look back at the PDF and I thought, what is wrong with us?
Yeah. That's a good thing. It's a good thing to be sitting there at something you did 3 months ago and wondering who did this and how it happened. I think that probably means you made a pretty darn good comic book.
Well, I hope so. I can't wait for because now we're at the hurry up and wait part.
Yeah.
Because we're going off to the printers, and then now we're kind of at their mercy. So this thing, if you're a comic creator or even a Kickstarter backer, I promise you, whenever someone says, "Hey, we're going to the printer," we don't know when we're going to get it back. We hope in a couple weeks, but sometimes it could take a couple months. It's just how far backed up they are. But I'm just anxious to get it and to get into the hands of the backer.
Yeah, no, that's exciting. So let's talk a little bit about Horus in Hell. We didn't do our 30-second pitch, but if someone was passing you at a con, we're going to get them into it. What is Horus in Hell, and where did the idea come from?
So Horus in Hell is our take on a fun and demented Saturday morning cartoon involving a rabbit from hell.
Nice.
Yeah.
Now we don't show trailers on this show because we do a podcast version, and it usually just is grunts and some music. I do recommend everybody checking out your video on the Kickstarter page when they go. I'll put up the banner so that they can find it.
Yeah, thank you.
I think it's right. I mean, honestly, it's right there. I think if this were a Saturday morning cartoon, that would probably just be your opening credits.
Mm-hmm. Oh
and
yeah,
people
definitely
would be ready to go.
So the idea for Horus in Hell came about because it's how a lot of this stuff happens, right? It's unexpected. So we have a series called Pocus Hocus, and it's about a magician who sells a soul to a demon to have actual magical powers. And, as those things happen, it doesn't go his way. So in it, he pulls a rabbit, Horus, from his hat. And the horse came from hell, and people were just kind of asking us, that they wanted an origin story for it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just so funny how this stuff happens, because it's the character that we spent the least amount of time on is the one that really gained the popularity.
Yeah.
And it's just, you can't predict it, and it's fun, and everyone seems like they're having a blast with Horus. Right. So that's really where it came about. And I have to always give credit where credit's due. Kit Wallace, who does variant cover for us ever since we started. He did the original variant cover for Pocus Hocus with Horus on it. And that's what really moved it forward and sparked it, because Kit has such a fun, cool, creative, and unique style that we just had to take him up on that.
Yeah, we got a comment. Joey Galvez in the comments says, "Pull quote: You've made some of the weirdest comics to date." So yes, you absolutely may use that in your marketing if you think it will help you sell comics. I'm happy. I'm happy to add that.
Well, thank you so much.
True. And it is a compliment for me. I coming from someone else, I can't promise that, but for me, who spends most of my nights on Tubi, the weirder the better. Weird doesn't.
We could have a whole side conversation about stuff on Tubi.
Oh God, it's great, because if you find something on Tubi, you can say, "Hey, watch this," and it's free. You're not like telling somebody who can't afford Netflix to watch a movie.
Right.
You just got to sit through a couple commercials, Oh yeah, like when we were kids, you had to go to the bathroom during commercials. That's what you do on Tubi, kids. Yep. It's not that bad. You figure out something to do during the commercials, okay? There are too many commercials on TV. It's a free goddamn movie, all right?
It's a free movie. Come
on. Anyway, no, this is my advertisement for Tubi. It's free and weird, and I love it. So, Horus in Hell, this is number 1. I know that. So that does lend usually to a 2, and so on and so on. How long would the series be envisioned?
It's one of those things where we always try to be forward thinking. So we planned for 2 different scenarios. First scenario was, what if no one backs this thing and it falls flat on its face? Okay, well, there's always still at least going to be a fan out there, so we want to finish telling the story. So we'll leave it set up to where we can potentially do this thing in two-ish issues, right? Depending on how far we want to stretch it, how crazy we want to get. Then the other scenario was, what if this is the biggest thing that we've made? And what do we do from there? So that lends to the other board of, okay, so if this thing falls into that category, where's this going without making it look like we're just stretching it out and dragging it out? Okay,
right.
We can do this. We can do this. We can do this. Okay, great. So we have 2 possibilities and 2 things that me and the team are just totally happy with. And it just so happened that the latter happened, and this has surpassed everything that we've done so far.
That's fabulous. That's great to hear. Now we've got another comment from Joey. He asked, commercials, what are those? And
if you have to ask, you can't afford it.
I guess so, but I was going to go with a commercial is, Hey, all you Kickstarter creators out there, if you want to bring your comics to your people with no muss, no fuss, and no injuries, use Gemini mailers. And Joey has a 10% off coupon that if you use Geek Collective 10 at checkout at GeminiMailers.com or something, I don't know what the actual website is, but I know what it is. You can save 10%. That, Joey Galvez, is a commercial.
That is a good advertisement. And if you need anyone to help consult your Kickstarter or to help build your campaign,
yeah,
Geek Collective.
Yeah, absolutely. And they let us play on their channel, so I'm super happy to share that for Joey. But so yeah, I actually got to meet you basically through Jerry. I mean, you Jerry
Jerry Galvez.
Jerry Guvez
Yeah.
introduced us. And all right. So yeah, you're doing great. Let's actually look at the page. I'll pull it up, and I just looked at it. Yes, you needed to make issue 1. What was it? 2,000.
Mm-hmm.
And you are sitting here at 7,600 already, and weren't able to do either you weren't able to do much advertisement for this because you were stuck in Florida, or you were able to do all of the advertisement because you had nothing to do stuck in Florida. Did you find more time in the hotel room to tweet and retweet, or was it just
it was weird because I actually found myself having less time because you're stuck down there with family, and everyone's trying to keep cool. And you don't want to be that guy that's like, hang on, I know we have a serious issue going right now, but I'm going to do comic book stuff. So I tried to be really sparing with my time, and to be smart about it. But what I will say is, and I think every creator wants to say this, but the book kind of sells itself with the wacky zany artwork that we have, and with the premise too. We tried to set this book up for fans of Pocus Hocus, but also for someone who has no idea what the hell Pocus Hocus is, because we don't live in a vacuum. We live in a world where we're getting new backers every campaign. We're also getting returning backers, so we have to make sure that both audiences have a checkbox, right? So we tried to really set this up to where you didn't need to know anything about Pocus Hocus. We handled that in the first couple pages because, in short, we have it to where it's about a magician who has these inexplicable powers that happens to pull a rabbit out of hell. And, Pocus, he tries to hide it from his assistant, Emily. She leaves one night after a show, and he tells his assistant, Emily, he tells Horus, he said, hey, is Emily gone? He says, yes. And he says, perfect. I have to show you a new trick I'm working on, which is pulling another creature out of hell.
Okay.
So the whole idea is he's a bit inebriated. He passes out after he opens up the portal, and now it's up to Horus to save everything.
That's a Horus problem now.
Yeah, it's in the title. It's Horus in hell. You never guess what's going to happen. Our boys.
I do have a guess. Yeah. I do have a guess what he might be pulling out of the hat the second time.
Yeah. So it's just it's funny because whenever we went back to look at the story, it's so simple and so stupid, but it just works for what we're trying to do.
Oh, that's awesome. And I am a big proponent. I actually have a comic with a psychotic bunny rabbit. I think it probably comes back to Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
Oh, we definitely have those influences in there. We never stray from those.
No, but there is just something about a super tough, also super adorable bunny rabbit. And this has who did this cover? I see that it's directly from Amignola.
Yes. That's actually our letterer and designer, Dave Lentz. And
wow, that's not fair. You shouldn't be that good at art and
he is frustratingly good at a lot of things. But that's kind of like a cool segue because we also partnered with Dave Lentz and Caleb Palmquist, who does Unicorn Vampire Hunter, Vampire Detective in Space. They have a book out called Space Monkey Knights Go, and we actually have a cross promotion print with them. So if you back both campaigns at any physical level, we're going to send you a print for free just for doing it, just because it's kind of cool to see like that community involvement with all this together.
Yeah, those are fun. I've had a lot of fun every time I've done this, and you just kind of see the characters together. I don't know if you know, but Will Allred and I did a crossover Tart print once.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And we asked the artist, our friend Kyle, hey, Kyle, can you do Tart and the crossover dies? And we're like, who could they fight? Oh, they could fight Frankenstein. So we're like,
Yeah.
it'd be cool if like the two guys were like tackling him and Tart had like a wrench and was trying to take one of the bolts out of his neck. That would be super cool.
That's cool.
So Kyle says, absolutely, I'll do it. He comes back, 3 weeks, a month later, whatever it was. And he's got this amazingly cool thing of Tart and Hank and Hector fighting the Minotaur.
Okay.
And I was like, well, it's super cool and I'm happy about it. And I was like, I wonder why he didn't do Frankenstein. And then like a month later, he and Clay Adams announced that they're doing the Blazing Sword of Frankenstein. I was like, oh,
there we go. There it is.
He didn't want us to accidentally steal the thunder of the Frankenstein.
Right.
So we're sitting back, Will and I, talking about how much we liked the print. And we came up with an entire one shot of Tart and crossover edition fighting the Minotaur out of one of these
because,
crossovers.
Yeah, like you look at stuff like this and then your brain just starts firing off at all cylinders.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And how do they work? How do they work together? How do they affect each other? Will has always said that one of his characters is going to like hold a crush on Tart in his book the rest of the way. I'm like, all right, that's fine with me. Whatever.
Yeah, whatever works, man. Whatever works.
She is adorable. I don't mind. But yeah, that's cool. And Caleb's a great dude. So happy to see that you're doing that.
So and again, so now we're getting into the interiors, and I just love how all of these have turned out.
Yeah, I saw the interior art was $350 for one of the pages, and if I had it, I would gobble that up in a second because the pages just jump. The black and white ink, they were gorgeous.
Yeah, Kit Wallace, again, he is so absolutely talented, and we are so lucky to have him just even want to do a book with us. Like, it's just cool. Yeah,
and it's not necessarily cartoony, but it fits the
it fits the MO for it, right?
Yeah, it fits the MO for what you're doing and how you're doing it. I think this was the page that you had
this is the colored page, because obviously Kit does all of his stuff drawn out, and then he photoshops the paint over top of it.
Oh, so he's coloring his own work.
Yes.
Got it. Okay.
Yep.
No, it's gorgeous. He's talented. I'm sure I've seen his covers as we've done this before, but I don't think I've run into him. Yeah, it's interesting. It's cartoony, but then there will be some Sam Keith moments where I'm kind of reminded of the first couple issues of Sandman, even though the tone's absolutely different.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's cool. Where did you find him?
So I was actually made contact with him through Dave. And like I said, this was on Pocus Hocus #1, because we're trying to figure out everything. And we have no idea how to make contacts with anybody. We have no idea how to do, honestly, we don't know how to do anything. And I didn't even know how to do a variant cover at that point, or even if I needed one. So then, obviously Dave, being the great guy that he is trying to set us up for success. So he's trying to give us just as much helpful hints as possible, and just make sure we're successful. So that's how we got in touch with Kit. Was that way. So he gave us his information, and then here we are.
That's awesome. Is there anything below this we need to look, or should I pop back over and
this is all just the tiers that are that are listed there. That's about
it. I'll ask before we do. $25 digital library, so you get all 5 Pocus Hocus, both.
You get 8. Yeah, you get 8 books altogether.
That's nice. And is there a physical tier like this where they can get all of your books at once?
Yes, there is. Yeah, we always try to do a Top Hat Studios physical library. And I can't remember how much we priced that for. I think we're getting to it. Yeah, there it is.
Looking at 40. Yeah. Okay. All right, guys. Look. Come on. It's $25 for the digital library, which is not bad at all. In fact, it's probably good on Kickstarter. $40 to get the books. Come on, guys. Come on. If you don't have Pocus Hocus and you don't have Grandma Chainsaw, You should get this. He's already talked about Pocus Hocus as the magician who made a deal with a demon to have powers and it not going well. In case somebody doesn't know, oh God, you should know about Grandma Chainsaw. I mean, kind of, you know it just by the name, but if you want to give him a little more than that.
Yeah, Grandma Chainsaw is, well, like, again, it kind of does what it says on the label, right? So Grandma Chainsaw is a book about a elderly woman named Hazel who happens to also be a chainsaw wielding psychopath. The
Nice.
end. Yeah.
It's a love letter to what? Absurd
Like,
comedies and slashers,
yeah,
horrors?
it's just, we got Evil Dead. It's just all kinds of stuff that we have in there. So we love it. Everyone on the team is so ecstatic about it. It's a blast. Like we genuinely do have so much fun with it.
That's awesome. So this one's going to go on a little bit longer because you're doing so great, which I'm really excited about. Pocus Hocus, I think you told us you're going to go in like series of what,
every
four years.
So next up, we're going to be doing so our Kickstarter schedule, it got kind of crazy because I think we talked about it a little bit before. Pocus Hocus and Grandma Chainsaw both got picked up by a publisher, and so did Horus in Hell because it's part of the Pocus Hocus property, right?
Makes sense, yeah.
So, this is kind of the crazy part. So this is like a little bit of inside baseball.
Can I ask you a question? Can you say who the publisher is yet, or is
Source Point Press?
Oh, cool, sweet. We love them. We love them.
So, we finally got confirmation because everything's crazy. Expect to see Pocus Hocus on your comic book shelves and in stores here in the very near future.
Great.
As soon as we have our previews and diamond distribution stuff, of course, we're going to be seeing that from the rooftops. And I know we got a bunch of people that are excited that's going to be championing it. So, we need it. Of course, we need it to sell well.
Yeah.
Go figure. Right. So we just hope that it does well in shops. But because of that, we're going to be backing off from Pocus just for a little bit because we were doing one thing and then Pocus, another thing, Pocus. So we're kind of using Horus to fill that Pocus gap right now because we're really going to be focusing on, well, it's in stores right now. It's hard to get on Kickstarter, things like that, So coming up after Horus finishes, of course, we're going to be working on another script for Horus number 2. But the script for Grandma Chainsaw 3 is already done and production for that is about to begin.
Nice.
It's kind of cool because we've used Brian Belando for all of our stuff for before, and he is such a great artist and an even better friend. And now we're working with Kit, who also falls into that category too. So it's kind of cool now because we have 2 projects happening, and we're not throwing all that work on Brian.
Right.
So Brian's able to breathe a little bit, and Brian is fantastic, Kit's fantastic, and they just knock this stuff out as soon as they can. But I never like to be like, we need it now. I like to try to give them, as much breathing room and as freedom as possible. So we tailor our Kickstarters together. So we try to figure everything out as a whole.
Yeah, and juggling Kickstarter and direct market is something that I've never actually felt like I've gotten a handle on. Right. I try my best, but it does always feel like it feels like I can juggle 3 balls and someone has thrown me 5.
Yep.
And I'm just trying my best, and I broke a toe. Like you did not have to throw the bowling ball as the 5th ball, guys.
Yep.
I have 4 scarves, and you threw me a bowling ball. What is wrong? But
come on.
I'm always hoping that I'll get a handle on it and try to do better every time. But I don't quite have the handle on it. But there's 2 of you and the artist, so maybe you'll be able to tag team it a little better. But
it is stressful, but it's also so exciting too.
Yeah.
To just to get everything out there and get everything done. I'm just, we got picked up a while ago we got picked up around the time Pocus Hocus 3 came out. That tells you how long ago that was. And, they wanted issue 4 to be done because that's when the first arc ends. And that makes total sense, because you got to make sure that the independent creators are going to be able to deliver. You don't want to go and start putting stuff out there, and then they message you halfway through production, like, sorry, we can't finish issue 4. We had a snag in something.
Yeah,
so,
at least a full arc. It doesn't have to
Yep.
be a full series, but a full arc, and then you
100%.
take a break, and then right.
Yeah. So, we've known for a while, and we've kind of had an idea for when we were coming out, but now we, I sent the email back with what I wanted it to say in previews, and it's just, man, it's so exciting. It's so cool to see that happen.
Do you have any shops lined up?
So
it's not in previews yet, so it's probably a little early, right?
Right. Yeah. Because of course, my LCS here, they're going to carry it. I'm really good friends with the owner there anyway.
What's their name?
It is Famous Comics.
Okay.
And yeah, George Fama, he's the guy that runs it. And even if we weren't going to be in previews, he would still whore it out anyway, right?
Nice. Nice. It's always good to have your own pimp.
Yep.
As long as he doesn't cut you if you don't sell well.
Yeah, no, George, like I said, he's such a good guy, and yeah, man, it's good to see just people just get behind this thing, and like I said, really champion it. And I couldn't be any more happy with the reception that our books have received. Not even just so much Horus, because Horus has already received so much from it already. Like I said, the reception has just been crazy. Seeing it come from there.
It's nice though. You can see the ingredients, and you can see why from way, like the 1,000-foot view, you can see why it's right there. It's scratching an itch. Like you saw Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and you got why people wanted to check it out. You saw the Tick and got why people wanted to check it out. And Horse in Hell, I absolutely see it. So. All right. Well, really good luck. I'm not going to keep you too long on a what is it, Tuesday afternoon?
Yes.
I don't know what day it is.
Yeah.
I don't know what day it is. But fabulous catching up. I'm really glad you got out of this wonderful state I call Florida, and are home safe in a real state. And don't come visit again unless you're forced to, but if you do, I hope it's a lot nicer.
Yeah, no, like I said, I appreciate everything, and I want to thank everyone in the community. It's just been we haven't been doing this that long. I think we're finally approaching like our 2-year anniversary for being here. It's crazy to think about. We've only been doing this for 2 years, and we already have like 10 Kickstarters out. It's just, it's wild how it happens. But
yeah, I'm angry at you actually. Like
I'm not. Don't be.
That is some bullshit right there.
Oh God, yeah, dude. And Will and I, we are just over the moon. Just ever since we did Pocus Hocus #1, it's just been so cool to see everyone's reception and how much they just seem like they like the stuff. All right. So
all right. Okay. So before we go, tonight on Tubi, check and see if it's still on there.
Okay, let me pull up my Tubi app real quick.
The movie is called Candy.
Okay.
It is a 1960s parody of a 1960s porno.
Okay.
It has Richard Burton. It has the guy, John Aston, the guy who played Gomez Adams.
There are so many movies named Candy on here.
Okay, it's got a blonde girl who's
I see it.
Basically
I see it.
It's got Marlon Brando.
Okay.
It is batshit crazy and well worth your time.
Okay, so it's funny because that's what you go to Tubi for.
Right.
I go to Tubi for the movies that were made with so much passion and love
and no money.
And absolutely zero money. There's one on there. I don't know if it's still on there, but it's called Suburban Sasquatch.
Suburban Sasquatch. Okay.
Whew. Get ready.
All right.
If you watch it, get ready.
Yeah, no, I watch it for the strangest movies that have ever been made, and most of them are really enjoyable. Some aren't.
Yeah.
Some aren't. But the other thing that we've gotten into is The Facts of Life was up there, and I was like, I loved it as a kid. I wonder how this holds up. And I never watched that first season, which I don't know if you know much about The Facts of Life, but The first
You
season,
take the good, you take the bad, right?
you know that, and
Okay,
the
yeah.
first season had Blair, Tootie, and Natalie, and had like 8 other girls that they tried to make stories around.
Okay.
And then the second season, everybody but Blair, Tootie, Natalie were either put into the background or fired.
Okay.
And Joe was brought in, and that's the show that kind of ended up taking off and being the hit show.
It's our
So I was
Horus
like,
in hell. Got it.
It is, yes. That, you know, Joe is Horus, and so I watched it, and the first 4 episodes are nuts. Like this show, the first episode is a girl is kind of like up for May Queen or something, and Blair gets jealous and basically tells the girl, because she's the tomboy, that she's a lesbian, and the girl's answer to that is, "Oh crap, I might be." And like, you watch this entire show, like, what are they doing? I cannot believe that this is the subject. And the girl is like shaken to her core that she might be a lesbian. I'm like, wouldn't you should know if you are or not? You know, they don't use the word, but it's
like, what's happening?
It's implied super strong. And Mrs. Garrett, to show Blair that she messed up, accuses Blair of being a whore. Of sleeping around on everyone, and I'm like, I have to watch the rest of the show because
you're like, I just need to know what's happening at this point.
I told my wife, I'm like, we have to watch this because who writes this? Like in the 70s, they made some weird ass shows.
Yeah, I think that's like some of the most baffling stuff sometimes, right? Is when you like really look at everything and you try to figure out how in the world did this even get made.
Mm-hmm. And you know, and now we're in like the shows that I sort of know. And now we're just enjoying the show because it's the show that I did grow up with, and they still will go to places where a sitcom wouldn't dare to do now. Like they had an episode on teenage suicide, and the girl succeeded.
Oh my God! Okay, usually it doesn't end that way.
No, it's they got there in time, and everybody learned their lesson. But no, in this one, the girl died, and I was like, wow, like they were ballsy. So
that's crazy.
Crazy movies, crazy sitcoms that I want to see. Like we watched the A-Team pilot, and I was like, I think I got all I need. I don't need to watch any more A-Team. I enjoyed that 2-hour movie, but I'm good, you know?
Yeah.
So, all right. Definitely check out Horus in Hell. Definitely check out Tubi, Suburban Sasquatch. I'll check it out. Check out Candy because it'll blow your mind.
All right, I will. No, I already got it actually logged on my TV right now.
Nice. Love talking to you, and I hope the rest of the campaign continues just climbing.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I think we're in the last 10 days, and it's felt like an eternity. So
yeah, that's what being in Florida is like. So welcome to my life, and great to see you. Thank you for everybody that was popping up. Joey, I saw in the chat. I didn't see someone else pop in on the comments, but if you were watching, we thank you. And this Friday night, Will and I are taking the week off. We're gonna, I think we're probably just gonna play Legend of Zelda, both of us independently. But we will see you. I guess it would be sometime in July. So everybody, be safe, and we will talk to you soon. Good night.
All right, see ya.
I should say good day. Good day.
Oh yeah, good day. You're not used to saying it, are you?
No, I'm not at all.
Yeah.
Good day, everybody.